Welcome back into the Rowdy Studio. I'm Stephen Levine, sitting alongside Jeff Owens, Sporting News NASCAR editor. And the 22 car for Penske Racing has suddenly become vacant and a pretty attractive ride. Mr. Penske has said Sam Hornish is going to be behind the wheel of that car for the foreseeable future. Do you see him behind the wheel of that car in 2013?
Probably not.
I think I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I would be shocked too. And that's kind of unfortunate. I'd kind of like to see him get another opportunity, but he hasn't done much with the opportunity he's had so far. So no, I think there's probably better options out there for Roger Penske. Joey Logano is out there. Trevor Bayne might be out there. We've even heard the possibility of Ryan Newman returning, which I'm not sure I see that happening.
They parted. Their parting was kind of acrimonious. I remember Rusty Wallace had to come to the defense of Roger Penske because Ryan Newman was bad-mouthing the equipment. Do you think that was that?
Yeah, Rusty and Ryan had horrible problems over there. Ryan says they didn't blow up any bridges when he left, but you rarely see that happen. You rarely see a driver leave a team and then go back in a few years. I just don't see that happening. From everything we've heard, Ryan would like to stay at Stewart-Haas. They're working on that. I don't see that happening. I think at this point, Joey Logano is probably the guy.
Now, I don't know, Jeff. I think we've learned everything we need to know about Joey Logano. I mean, he had how many years with Greg Zipadelli, one of the best crew chiefs in the garage, didn't show anything, made a crew chief change, hadn't really shown anything. I mean, don't we know what we have with Joey Logano? Well, it's not necessarily good?
Yeah, I see your point. I'm not sure I'm ready to go that far yet.
Okay.
The kid's 22 years old. He hasn't done what we expected when he come in. There's no question about that. But there's also the theory that he was pushed a little bit too soon. He's shown flashes. You know, he dominated that race at Pocono this year. Every now and then he'll show up in the top 5 and lead a race, and you think, okay, he gets it. And then he starts to struggle again. So there are the jury is definitely still out on him. But I look at it this way. I had a team owner tell me a long time ago that he would rather take a chance on a guy who has not proven that he can't do it than a guy who's proven that he can't. Mm-hmm. And you look at guys like Brian Vickers and Ryan Newman and Sam Hornish. To me, those guys have had a few years in the series, and we know what they are. The results are mixed. With Hornish, he hasn't done much. Vickers might win a race, he might not. Newman's kind of in the same boat. They've been around long enough that we know pretty certain what they are. I don't think Logano's proven that yet because he's still just 22 years old.
I agree with you about Ryan Newman. I don't think Ryan Newman is ever going to be that guy who gets you multiple victories and a chase at a championship. I think he's always going to be that top 15 sort of driver. I'm not sure I'm going there with Brian Vickers. I mean, he got into the chase with Red Bull racing equipment, pretty mediocre equipment, and this year for Michael Waltrip Racing, he's gotten as many top 5s as times he's been in the car, almost, and without any continuity, without a real strong relationship with his crew or his crew chief, not a lot of seat time. So I think he's proving this year that he has the talent and deserves a cup ride.
Maybe he's a guy who deserves a second chance. It's also the guy who was at Hendrick for a while and didn't do much and wound up.
Well, he booted Jimmy Johnson to win a race.
Well, there you go.
I mean, not everybody would be willing to do that.
That's true. Brian has had some success, and he has shown flashes. Maybe he does deserve a second chance. What he's done with Waltrip has been impressive this year. But if I'm Penske, I go with a younger guy. I go with a guy like Logano, who is still 22 years old. He's got plenty of time to prove for certain whether he can do it or whether he can't. And I think he's young enough that if you put him in a different situation, maybe something clicks. Maybe you find the right opportunity. You know, and Penske had great success with Brad Keselowski. He plucked him away from Hendrick and Junior Motorsports, put him in that car, and he is taken right off. Maybe he can do the same thing with Logano. If I'm Penske, that's the way I go.
Of course, you and I both know that this decision might not be Roger Penske's alone. I mean,
that's
since
true.
Penske pulled Shell away from RCR into their stable, they've had to deal with the Kurt Busch incident. Now they've had to deal with AJ Allmendinger. I don't know anything, but I would think they're getting pretty impatient, and they might want more of a proven guy than a project.
They may. That's definitely a possibility. That might put a guy like Ryan Newman in play. But I also got to think they want somebody with a squeaky clean image. One of our guys at NASCAR Illustrated pointed out if they were Roger Penske, they'd go after Trevor Bayne.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the sport more squeaky clean than Trevor Bayne. And after what Penske has been through with Kurt Busch and now AJ Allmendinger, that makes some sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure Trevor Bayne can get it done behind the wheel, but you can't argue with the guy's image.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he does still have some potential. I don't think they're going to get him away from Roush, though. I think Roush wants to put him in a nationwide car full time. Let's see what he can do, and then maybe gradually bring him back to Cup. So I think that's probably a long shot, but we'll see. All of a sudden, he's got the hottest ride in the garage.
It's true, and don't forget it's a Ford ride with FR9 engines and Roush Yates power, so maybe he can work something out with Jack.
There you go.
All right, for Jeff Owens, I'm Stephen Levine. Thanks for watching.